It's 10 minutes to 8.
No. So we've got an hour and a half to review 6 leagues.
Yeah, that's doable.
and our predictions. So let's go. Welcome to the Catching Out podcast. We are so professional. As you can see, we're totally slumming it today.
I put it nicely.
By that, I mean we're at Zoe's lounge.
We're not going to get done in an hour and 10 minutes.
No, we're not. So screwed. Yeah, it's all my fault because I've moved house and I don't have internet, so we can't do it as normal as how we normally do it via Discord. So hey, we're in person, and this is, for fun fact, first time all 3 of us have been in the same room together and spoken to each other.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the important thing. We've been in the same room.
We've been in the same room, we've just not spoken to each other. So
still like each other, really.
yeah.
Sure.
To be decided. So yeah, we're sort of like figuring this one out as we go. But we know there's been demand for us to come back for National League. It's the only reason we're doing it.
This wasn't our plan the whole time at all.
We definitely did. We were just going to do the Euros and just appear every 2 years from now on.
Some of us want to play Call of Duty tonight.
Activision, please sponsor us. So yeah, let's crack on with it. Is there any news updates that outside of league? It was the AGM on Monday. The report is out, so go find it on British Dodgeball. Some interesting stuff to read there, especially if you really care about the juniors.
Go talk to Aidan Woodall. Bombard him with questions.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen to this, so don't tell him I passed you on.
First comment on YouTube, Aidan. No! Sorry, Aidan.
Somebody's needing a new coach.
Did you know Manchester Bees are recruiting?
We're looking to restart Mason Bees.
So yeah, and yeah, first league meet is 2 sleeps away. That's pretty scary. That's happened quick. So yeah. Also, we should probably start by saying, if you haven't listened to the Neutral Zone pod already, they've already beaten us to it and recorded and put out their thoughts on the season coming up.
Go back to being lazy.
So go give them a listen as well. We get a cheeky shout out in it as well. Let's go pod racing.
I forgot about that.
Let's dive in straight away. We're going to go straight into the mess that was last year. We go to Women's Super League.
Can't speak more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I bring up the fixtures?
Yeah. I mean, so congratulations to everyone. You're all currently tied first. We'll see how long that lasts.
This is the best Bees are going to do all season.
I feel so bad when we get on to like League 3 later. It's just like Burton at the top of the league, and it's like that's as long as that's going to last.
Stop the count.
Yeah, can you imagine if Burton are listening to this?
We've got 6 leagues to do.
Okay, moving on. Right, Women's Super League. Well, shall we sort of mention what happened last year in the fact that it all came down to the last league meet? There were 5 teams that could have come first. There were 3 that were ahead by a decent amount, and then 2 that needed results to go their way, I think.
Yeah, it was basically everyone was within 3 or 4 points of each other in the final meet of the season, within 3 points of each other within the final meet of the season, which is a ridiculous place to be for 5 teams. That's half the table that could have won. And obviously, like, it ended up being Beagles winning after everything, which is just the funniest. That is the perfect outcome. That, like, Beagles win every single year, and the one year when anyone else could have won, it's still Beagles that come through right at the end and just snag that win. Very poetic ending.
That was a real great day for those that had Excel on their phones to like figure everything out. So, to those data scientists that played dodgeball. Not me. I didn't have one.
I'm a data scientist and play dodgeball. I did not have an Excel sheet in front of me.
I was on the way to a wedding, I'll have you know. So,
definitely wasn't Nick, I can guarantee that.
We love you really well. And then there were 2 teams that were kind of out of everything, which was Bees and Sheriffs. No offense, Sheriffs, but you know.
We were the quote-unquote mid-table of 6th and 7th place.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, then you had Wessex, Bedford Rangers and White Tigers, who were all battling to see which would get the 2 relegation spots, and it ended up being White Tigers and Wessex, which I think everyone feels, that was quite, I can't say it was a surprise, we all knew it had to be 2 teams that go down, but there's something strange about seeing Wessex go down after they came so close to so many of those matches. They were really in it the whole season. They could have taken it to any of those top teams all throughout the season, and it just feels a massive loss to see them go. Same with White Tigers. White Tigers almost beat Spartans. They had some fantastic matches, and so seeing anyone drop from that league was kind of just that's a shame. But instead, we get Stafford and Storm 2 coming up into the league. So that's the new table, as you've got Bedford Eagles, Bedford Rangers, Derby Phantoms, Valkyries, Spartans, Storm 1, Storm 2s, Queen Bees, Sheriffs and Raptors are in the table now.
You read that really well.
Thank you.
I'll let you do that for all of these.
That'll be my only contribution for Men's League 3.
No, for me, it was probably the league with the most interesting matches because there's so many upsets and close games, and I want to say it was Derby and Storm where it came down to the last 35 seconds or something like that.
It came down to the last throw. It was Tara Jones throwing a catch in the final second, and whether or not it was on the whistle or before the whistle. That was an insane match.
I remember watching that on the live YouTube stream, and I'm really hoping that they bring those back because it was really cool to watch it live. But it was definitely one of the more interesting leagues to watch and follow along with. I really enjoyed it anyway. I'm really interested to see how Stafford do in the league, especially if they keep a lot of the players they had last season, and maybe even bring in, if they're able to bring in 1 or 2 players as well. That could be a really interesting team. Especially, there's been quite a few transfers around the
Do you want me to run through the transfers?
If you know them off the top of your head,
I know them off the top of my head. This is my league, I know this one. Beagles have got Alice Bonsignori and the 2 Abbeys, one of which is Abby Gower from Sheriffs. Alice Bonsignori comes from Storm 1s, so the advantage there is Beagles get a lot of depth. Last season they were really lacking in depth. They had to go to several meets, at least 1 meet with 5 people. So it's absurd that they won, considering they went to a league with 5 people. And that's really good that they've now got 3 really fresh faces. All of them I can see working really well. Other Abby also did play for Beagles in British Open, I think, at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Not Abby Gower, the other one.
Abby Davies.
Abby Davies, thank you.
From Empire.
Yeah. So that's 3 really good people, but the other advantage of that is that takes away people from other teams. So Storm 1 now no longer have Alice Bonsignori, nor do they have Meg White and Harry Bignell, who have both moved to Spartans. That's not surprising to anyone. Well, they don't live in London, do they?
So for those of you who don't follow dodgeball, of course, it was obvious to everyone.
It was obvious to everyone. No, so they don't live in London. Alice Bonsignori also apparently doesn't live in London.
So we're going to go into the deep dive details of where people live now on the podcast.
Do you mean you don't know where every single dodgeballer lives and you don't like it?
I'm so glad we got this in person.
So Meg White and Harry Bignell to Spartans, which creates an interesting situation where Spartans might have too much depth, quote unquote, where they've got 10 players who all deserve a spot on that first team, and they've got a second team now, which means you have that tricky situation that Bees had to deal with quite a lot last year, where what happens if you don't get enough sign downs for your second team and you have to drop people who are really of the caliber of that top team, put them down in the second team. How does that impact egos? How does that impact sort of headspace? Does that create a toxic environment in the club? That kind of thing. I reckon that's going to be Spartan's big difficulty this season.
Dodgeball players with egos. No.
Oh, who would think it? Never happens.
Stop.
Yeah. And then Sheriffs have lost Abby Gower. So those are all the big. That's a big loss for them. They not really. No offense to Sheriffs 2s, and Kath did say this in neutral zone, so I do feel like I'm allowed to say it. They don't have as much depth because they don't. Their second squad, there's quite a big difference between the 2 squads. I feel.
Case though, right? Because even if if it was last season, and let's say Abby got injured or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You always have to kind of know you're pulling in somebody. It isn't in my opinion, probably the top player for Sheriffs last season, and replacing it with your best player from the seconds is always going to be a big shift. But it's something every club has to be aware of, and it's a good opportunity for somebody to take that spot and make it their own. So it'll be very interesting to see.
2 questions. One is that Who do you see for title contenders?
Oh, he's asking.
Beagles and Spartans.
Yeah, but who do you pick out of them two, though?
I think it depends. It's like I said, if Spartans kind of end up having problems with their second team and having to do that balancing act, which I think is something that a lot of people underestimate how much of an impact that can have. There were quite a few meets last season where we really wanted to have Hannah Ward in Queens and we couldn't because we didn't have enough players for Honeys, and that could have changed our season considering how close the margins were. So I think if Spartans 2's women start to have problems with sign downs, that will impact Spartans 1's, and that could actually cost them the whole league. It could be counteractive for that club to set up their 2's. On the other hand, you know, Beagles, it's the first time they've really brought in that many new faces all in one go. They've tried bringing in new faces before and it hasn't really worked very well. So
a lot of them have played together before,
they have played
though,
together
like
before.
England and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like I'm just thinking of, you know, players like Grace Martin, who I think tried to be in Beagles a few years back, didn't really seem to integrate into the club very well, and it has created
England dynamics and Beagles dynamics are different, right? Like you see that in all sorts.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. But
Yeah.
I do think that there's enough experience, and who they're bringing in are really good, experienced players, and play positions that they really kind of needed depth in as well.
Yeah.
I think they'll come in and smash it. I actually think that as long as they can bring full squad to every meet, which is always, you know,
Beagles.
stuff going on.
Beagles,
I think Beagles take the league.
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately.
Not comfortably, but I do.
Beagles
think
are like
it.
the Patriots of dodgeball, right? So, like basically,
NFL reference.
don't rule them out. Don't rule them out until they are mathematically ruled out.
There's
This
a
is the way that I'm
big
gonna say it.
NFL fantasy thing that will be freaking out right now by your reference.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Shout out to the league.
Shout out to the NFL
That was
as
so
well.
smooth.
NFL
Fuck you
definitely
badly.
needs that shout out.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone would ever discount the Beagles, and I think that's perfectly fair.
Last question is it more or less competitive than last season, do you think?
Oh, great question. It's so difficult because I didn't expect it to be as competitive as it was. Like I thought you'd have 2 teams max going into the final session with a chance. To have 5 is incredible. There's no way it's going to be that competitive.
No,
it's not going to be as tight as that. It's unfair to say it's not going to be as competitive. It will be competitive, but I don't think it'll be as tight as it was last season. No.
I think there'll be more competition, but for less places. So, like, you know how Men's Super League last year, you saw 3 split out into 3? I think
Yeah, you mean
you'll
like
see
the number
more
of groups that kind of
like-
split out. Yeah,
so
I agree.
Each match will have greater weight on it, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, before, it's not that it didn't have as much weight, but because everyone was beating each other, it was like, it's not a problem, we'll just rely on them to beat them, you know?
No, I do think for
I think,
Beagles and Spartans, it's definitely going to be a case of there's a lot of pressure to not fuck up. Like it's going to be like compared to like football, you know, it's the top 2 teams. It's more about not losing than it is about like going in with confidence that you're going to win every game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But it makes it really interesting.
Yeah.
Like you said, it puts a lot of weight into matches like other like on paper wouldn't be as big usually.
Yeah. I think it will be as competitive, but I don't think it will be in the same direction. Last time it was competitive at the top. This time around, I think it will be competitive in the midfield. That we'll have probably
Fair.
Beagles kind of dragging ahead relatively quickly. Spartans, I can see Spartans making a couple little goofy errors in their very Spartans way where they just lose or draw a match that they really shouldn't have. And that just like gives Beagles the chance to run away with it, and then you'll end up having 8 teams that are all really close and 1 team that's probably like dragging right at the bottom. But
So
I can
these
see
make
it.
top 5 for you, yeah?
Yeah,
Here first, these make top 5.
that's not what I said.
So
I back
going
us.
on,
I
going
back
going
us.
on to the matches this weekend then. I don't really know how you want to do this. Do you want to go through some
What
of the
was the
games,
match
or
to
shall we
catch?
just go to it? Right. So match to catch, really great,
Match to catch.
catchy name.
So
Wow.
you can hear through a message him smiling to himself so loudly.
Yeah, and don't tell me you weren't doing the same thing when you saw it and you're like, great idea. So yeah, I'll take full credit for that.
Go
no,
ahead,
no
go
shame.
ahead. No, I have no
So-
issue with that.
Our match to catch is it's just going to be our way of saying we're going to do a prediction for each league meet, hopefully, and for each league. just so we don't have to go through every single one, we're going to pick out one game in particular. So this will be our game that we want to predict on, and also one that we'd recommend is going to be a good game to watch because let's get on those sidelines and start cheering for teams and making an atmosphere at St George's Park because there are plenty of good games to watch, even if we all then watch it on YouTube afterwards. We all know we will.
Please keep recording and posting dodgeball footage.
Yeah.
Like, we want stuff to do in our free time.
I need something to have on in the background.
Only so much you can watch Euros for.
Those 90 hours just aren't gone. Right, so for this one, we've got Derby Phantoms versus East Anglia Valkyries. I think, did all three of us choose this game? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was another game I was debating, but yeah.
I had a couple others that I would have picked.
I think it's going to be a good. Both these teams, I think, were in the hunt last year, so they were in the five.
Yeah.
I think Derby were one of those ones that needed results to go their way. If I remember,
Both of them, I think, needed.
EAB were top though.
It was Beagles, Spartans, and Valkyries.
Valkyries were first going into that league.
Yeah, so they didn't need results to go their way.
Yeah.
They were guaranteed.
So Valkyries ended up doing better, but I know they had a lot. Well, I think they had a lot of chopping and changing in their team last year, and I don't know now that they. So those who don't know, British Dodgeball have now made it a thing that if you want to play in National League or any league system, you need to have a regular training session. Valkyries didn't before, from my understanding, so they do now.
And you need to run sessions that are open to the public, which is definitely something Valkyries didn't do before.
Yeah, so they need to, so whether that means that they've got new people coming in, whether this is going to be the same team. I know Anna won't be playing for them because she'll be playing for us at Leeds. So it'll be interesting to see where Valkyries are this year, if there are any more people that have moved around, etc. And also just to see where Derby were, because Derby last year came out of the gates pretty damn hot. I think took everyone by surprise. Were at the top of the tape like Christmas.
Yeah.
And some would say they got figured out, but let's see if they come with something else this year. So that's why I thought that's my vote for match to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You go ahead. You have more to input than me.
I put it in because there are quite a lot of matches here that I'm expecting could go pretty close. I think that the two Bs matches, I think either one of those could come down to a set. So there are a lot of matches where it's like these could all be very close. The Derby Valkyries one, I think, will be the weirdest one to watch because they're both teams that play quite bizarre tactics. It sounds weird to say, but there's kind of a lot of other teams. I can tell you exactly how Spartans play. I can tell you exactly how Beagles play. But then like Phantoms, it took us half the season to get the hang of how they were playing last season, and they might have changed that again. I wouldn't have put it past them to have spent the summer rejigging their strategy so that way they can do the same thing again. Valkyries, like you said, they always change up their lineup, and they basically come with an incredibly strong group of players that can all play different styles of dodgeball, so you have no idea how to play against it, which just makes it any match with Valkyries and any match with Phantoms one where the tactics are all over the place in a really nice way. like it's really hard to read what's going on, and they're going to adjust really well, whereas Beagles don't tend to adjust to who they're playing against. Spartans don't tend to adjust to who they're playing against. They kind of play their game, whereas both Phantoms and Valkyries are willing to make that adjustment, I think. So it could be interesting to see how they develop and who wins that kind of game of chess over time.
So,
what she said.
predictions then. Who should we start with? Let's start with Colin because
are we just doing result or are we doing like
no score? Just who do you think will win?
I think Derby takes this one.
Zoe.
Little conviction.
I think Derby takes it if they bring their best
squad. Conviction. Hold him to that, Derby.
Give him a satellite.
I think Derby will take it mainly because they'll just get really excited and just kind of push each other and cheer each other on, and I think that will be enough for them to win.
I'm going to get lone wolf this and go Valkyries.
You won't even big balls. You won't even go for.
That's why I did it this way.
Disgraceful.
No, I'll. That's like the
biggest cop out in the world.
It's gonna be a draw, okay? It's so good.
Everyone will win.
It's so
Everyone's the winner, okay?
The real winner is the audience who get to watch the match.
Yeah.
Real winners don't.
Yeah, so Alex, if you're not streaming this game, what are you doing? But yeah, no, so I think Valkyries will win it. I feel like you got to go off form from last season. We haven't seen Valkyries at any opens, so we don't really know what they're coming in with. I think that also could play into their advantage, because it's played into other teams' advantages in the past. So yeah, I think you just got to go. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a close game. We wouldn't have chosen this game if it wasn't.
Yeah.
So, before we move on to the next thing, we've got a nice announcement to make. We have
Partnered.
We've prodded Bembridge.
We've agreed to terms with one of the other voices in the dodgeball community, Mr. Alex Bembridge himself. And we have got a sneaky peek of some of the Bevers predictions.
Bevers rating system.
With the Bevers rating system, yeah, sorry.
Fake
so
fan.
I'm assuming they're going to go on the House of Dodge website anyway, but for our match to catch, Bevers' prediction is that EAV will win. Sorry, yeah, I'm not a lone wolf, really. I've got stats to back me up, guys.
You've got science.
That's 2 votes for
I've got
EAV.
science. Right, that's me done for the night. I'm out. Cool, right. Women's League One.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Women's League 1.
So, I think the best thing to start off with this is that we've got 10 teams in the league.
We've got 10 teams!
10 teams.
10 teams!
Which is really great to see. So the 2 new teams are Leeds, they're back. We're back with a vengeance.
Baby.
Spartans 2.
Yep.
And then we've had demoted White Tigers.
Yep, and
Wessex
Mavericks are there,
Wolves.
but that's essentially a rebranded Raptors 2.
Yeah,
as
so
far
Mavericks,
as we know.
yeah. So because last I heard that last year Raptors 2 was a cross between Mavericks and Raptors 2. But I think now they've just rebranded as Mavericks, which I think is totally fair, which is cool to see. Yeah. Where do you even go?
I thought he had some big truth.
I thought you were going to launch right into
Where do you
it.
go in this league? Because I'll be honest, I'm disappointed Nighthawks didn't get promoted last year.
Why are you disappointed? Out of curiosity.
I hate second teams in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
Right, okay.
I'm so sorry,
Like,
Storm 2, but I agree.
No offense, Storm 2. And also, we didn't really mention it in the last one, but with all those players moving around from Storm 1, what is Storm 2 going to look like?
No, exactly.
If they're the White Tigers.
It has a big knock-on effect.
White Tigers of this year, maybe. But yeah, anyway. So, I don't know. Leeds, I know that we've got some great players. I know we did really well at the Open, the season Open. We came second. I've got to back them.
You have to, contractually obliged.
I'm not biased or anything, but I do think they're really good players. I think they'll do really well.
Honeys will win.
You don't play for them.
You don't play for Leeds women.
Good for one. No.
Cancel the recording.
No. So I think Leeds will be up there. I think Nighthawks will be up there. I don't know who else. I'm curious to see how to be
Spartans
Crocs. You think
Spartans 2 will be up there.
Okay.
I think, I
mean
agree.
Warwick
I
one?
agree with that.
But it's not just Warwick 1 because they'll have to put
But
people
Yeah.
in
like
there
we
for
were
Spartans
discussing
1.
earlier, because if they're low on sign-ups, right, it's going to massively boost Spartans 2 if they have to drop.
Yeah.
a
I mean,
couple of
Wessex
those
obviously
players.
going to be competitive as well because they've only just come down. Yeah, I think that top 5 is going to be really tight.
Yeah. I don't see Spartans 2 getting promoted, partly because I can see a situation happening near the end of the year where Spartans 1 could be close to, winning the league, Spartans 2 could be within the top 3, and Spartans being quite cutthroat. That's not a negative term, it's not a positive one necessarily either, but quite a cutthroat team. It's a fact. So it's kind of their club style is this kind of professional, very strict style. I can see them deciding, okay, we need to prioritise the ones. Let's field a team of 5 people in our 2s so we can bring 9 people in our 1s, for example. I can see them being a club that can make a decision like that, which would be a very ballsy thing to do and something that Bees would never do. Is it actually the correct thing to do, though? That's the thing. It kind of is in some ways, and it very much isn't in other ways. So
what's the point of having a second team who doesn't feed the first team?
Exactly.
Right?
So I can see them.
If that situation ever arises, I can't wait for our podcast episode on that.
I'll be like, I was right.
I can wait. Don't need Zoe telling us that she was right again. Jeez.
It's what the people want.
So, yeah, I think the top 5 will be somewhere between Leeds, Spartans 2, Nighthawks, Wessex, and Leicester White Tigers.
Do you want to just finish off the rest of the table and say... I
think they'll all do well.
Bottom 5...
My top 10.
Bottom 5, you just suck. Yeah, no. What?
Oh, God.
It's going to be a long season.
It's going to
be a really long
episode.
Yeah.
I've
got a train to catch.
I'm very, very excited to see Canterbury Crocs because I'm really curious as to who they're going to bring. I think if they utilise University of Surrey students, which I suspect they might do.
Yeah, but Wessex do as well.
That's the thing, is like, who actually wins the players there?
Yeah.
Someone like Lauren Gallagher, who realistically could play for Wessex, could play for Canterbury Crocs, is phenomenally talented for someone who's only been playing like a year or something like that. Ridiculously good. Could play for either one of those teams. Could, in theory, play for Leamington Spartans too. She has played for Leamington Spartans before. So, like, you know, a player like that has all these clubs that in theory she could play for because none of them are her quote-unquote official club, which is the university club. Who does she go for? And it will be little decisions like that, who's welcomed best into certain clubs, that kind of, I think, swings things in certain ways. I'd be surprised if Canterbury Crocs managed to get too many considering the clubs that are in the same area, but could be interesting to see.
The power struggle of the lower leagues is sucking in uni students.
Genuinely.
That is it. Like, you'd rather play for a first team that's in a lower league, right, than for a second team of a big... that's a debate, I guess.
And it depends
anyway,
on playing.
It sounds like
as well.
Hocus Pocus, where they're like sucking the youth out of all the kids. You know, that's
That's what crocodiles are doing.
Not watch Hocus Pocus. I try to make a Halloween reference right, in the middle.
I'm not a Halloween person.
I've not
Okay.
seen it either.
Right, moving on. So
It's
matches
fine.
this weekend.
not
Is
me.
there any like? Well, I think we were talking about it, and generally we weren't really sure.
Sorry,
who
I've
to
scrolled
pick.
down for some reason.
Because it was just sort of like any of the matches could have been good because there's so many unknowns in this league, especially with all the movements that we've seen in the Super League. It has a knock-on effect on the lower teams as well. So we've gone for Wessex versus Spartans 2. Reason being is why not?
Yeah.
Tell me wrong.
Literally,
Why
when we were
not?
discussing this, there was like
There
a
are so
reason
many
you could
good
pick
matchups.
any match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
You can tell we're fans of dodgeball because like the reason we're like
We
go
think
watch,
every
I'm
match
so
go
is
watch this
great.
game, but also if you can't and you're just really tired and you're stuck in your seat, just watch the one in front of you because it's probably pretty good. Just get to
Funny
Judge
'cause
Judge
it's free.
Park, right? Okay. So yeah. Predictions. Shall I go first?
Yeah,
You
go
go
for it.
first, mate.
And then we'll disagree with whatever he says. Science is on my side.
I don't know. I feel like you got to go Wessex because they were in the Super League last year. That's my cop-out logic.
I'm gonna go. Luckily, he did go for what I think. I'm gonna go with Spartans. Spartans 2,
Cool.
because I think they'll probably get one or two first team caliber players in there potentially. I think it'll be really helpful. Should be a good game.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm also actually going to go with Spartans too. So I think Wessex could win, and I kind of want to say they should win on paper, like player for player. But I can see Spartans 2's kind of going in with the attitude of we've got nothing to lose, whereas Wessex have that pressure now of feeling like they shouldn't have been relegated and now they must win all these matches to get back. I think Spartans will go in with a better
It's the
headspace.
first time Spartans 2 are getting blooded in league.
Yeah, but a lot of those girls have played for Spartans 1s before. There are also girls that have specifically been benched for Spartans 1s before, and so have kind of got this attitude of I want to prove myself, I want to do really well. They're going out, they're trying to prove that they're worthy of, that they should have been played in Spartans 1s last year, basically.
Yeah.
It really does depend, though, on which girls they manage to get into that Spartans 2 squad. It's really hard to predict.
It's the caveat, isn't it?
You know, like we said, it is basically Warwick girls, but actually which Warwick girls are even still living in Leamington, which ones still want to play for Spartans, how many of them have been pissed off by the club, that kind of thing. I say that, you know, lovingly, but it does come down to it a little bit. If you leave someone constantly on the bench, or if you don't get selected for a first team, because there was only one team last year, if you don't get selected time and time again, that does eventually lead to a situation where maybe you don't want to put your name down against it. So it'll be interesting to see who they actually manage to convince to come back. I do think they've got quite a lot of people that are interested in playing for them, so I think they can field a very good squad.
Fair enough.
Good.
The Bevers rating prediction is Error 404 not found. there's no data for them, so we can't. Bevers can't predict. So basically,
you don't have like a baseline that he uses for stuff.
Yeah, but like you
that.
just throw in a baseline.
Yeah,
of,
Spartans 2s has never ever played.
That is such a good song. And I'm in my head now.
I've got one last prediction actually
Yeah.
for Women's League One. I think they'll be what Women's Super League was last year. I think this will be the
Yeah,
league where
league's
people are
crazy.
beating each other all up and down the table, and it will come down to the last meet, and everyone will be fighting for that promotion section.
Well, I agree, except for Leeds are going to go clean sweep.
Oh yeah, Leeds are obviously going to win everything,
sweep,
and
win
Honeys are
everything.
actually going to win
And next-
everything as well somehow. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure how that one's going to work.
Next gonna win the MVP for Leeds.
Leeds will win it, and Honeys will win our hearts.
I'm so excited for Honeys
That
this
is
year.
cringe.
That's what we're here for.
That's coming from me.
Anyway, let's go on. Do you want to start with League 3 or the Super League?
Go on, let's mix it up and go League 3.
Let's go League 3. Well, then we're going to rush Super League. Let's go League 3.
Yeah, that's
Go
fine.
along.
They deserve it.
There's 8.
They can have less time for once.
All right.
Wait,
Yeah,
are
just
we
the
doing League
afterthought.
4?
No.
No.
Right,
Um,
so I'm League 4. We'll get.
Fuck League 4
We'll be
again.
discussing
Well,
later
okay.
point.
We can do League. We can just do a brief overview of League 4.
Yeah.
It's new. It's exciting. Watch.
Lots of
It's a commentary.
lots of
That
third
commentary, which
teams.
is really good. It's yeah. Oh, we
And
do have a
Essex.
match. We do have a match to watch for it, don't we?
Yeah,
A
we
match
do.
to catch,
That's why
match
he was
to watch,
asking.
Match to catch.
He's not just being a dick.
Yeah.
Don't know,
He's
I
doing
am
both.
very-
Anyway, so 8 teams. So what they've done is they haven't taken 2 teams out, but basically 2 teams left League 3, the promoted ones, and then did they demote them? I don't know.
I
remember.
don't think anyone got
Hold on.
demoted.
No one got
Nobody-
demoted.
No.
No.
Yeah, so
It's all
League
new.
3 is only
Should've been
8, and then
sorted.
League 4 is
Yes.
all completely new teams. So you've got Brayford Beast, which is essentially Uni of Lincoln X. Chippenham Chargers, they've been around for a while, but I don't think they've competed
They played
here.
regional league.
Yeah, but so this is their debut, I think. Silvax 3, Essex Swords, again, University of Essex grads, as far as I can tell. Spartans 3, Leeds Barn Owls, which is just the second, and then Mustangs 2 and 3, which is essentially Leicester.
Every time I
Predators.
discuss them, I will sing Mustang Sally, and you will have to get on with it.
Sure. There's not really anything we can do
It's
to
better than
predict.
Predators, though, isn't it?
It will happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a thing.
Or
Yeah.
the all-time-
There's not really much we can say in this league until
Until we see the lineups.
until we actually get feedback on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be in Coventry.
Yeah.
Which is like the first time branching out into a new place for league. Which
I mean, to be fair, if you look at where all those teams are, that does at least make sense.
oh yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
Essex,
yeah.
but,
Abs- it's not even like that. It's
Yeah.
just the fact that because
We don't have space in terms of
literally, you don't have time, you don't have space. Like it's gonna have to happen at some point. So
Yeah.
I imagine we will end up breaking up. I think that's what regional leagues kind of like trying to start off right. Is that it's going to be like the football pyramid system where
Yeah.
it's like conferences end up going into national league kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what will probably happen in the next
all
4 or
sorts
5
of predictions
years.
on this podcast, predictions about matches and the league system.
And when Nick's gonna get married.
Predict something that will never happen. Like, come on. So the only
I
thing
mean, I've predicted Honeys winning the league.
so that was so bad.
It's your own club. That is your own club.
There are so many knees that are fucked in that squad at the moment.
The last thing to say
Charlotte's
about
not
that one is
playing.
a match to catch for League 4 was Essex Swords versus Brayford Beasts, which is essentially let's have the 2 uni grads teams have at it and let's see where they're at. So that'll be basically uni league in the league system.
I predict beast mode because it's got beast in the name.
Yeah,
I like swords.
sure.
We're professionals.
We know what we're doing. I'm gonna go with swords. Salty beast. Bevers does actually have data for both these
That's
teams.
absolutely insane
So-
to me.
Fuck you, Spartans 2 Women's.
How?
But
He
Brayford
initially
Beast
said
and
that he
Swords,
didn't, and then he was like,
because
wait, no,
they've played
I do.
regional. They've played regional.
Oh my god. Yeah,
So,
okay.
and I think Beasts have entered Opens. So, Swords have played regional and Beasts have done Opens. So they do have data on them.
Swords
And
have played foam of all things as well.
yeah. What's going on in Essex?
I don't think it's the actual Essex Swords team that play foam, though. I think they just use the name of it and they just drag people.
Well,
in.
because it's Essex Blades, which is the uni, and then there's Essex Lions, which is the uni dodgeball team.
Yeah.
It's all confusing down there. Anyway.
I'm not even sure where Essex is.
Yeah. Time to move on, because beasts are his prediction. Men's League 3.
Men's League 3.
It's the exact same league as this league before, except for welcome to the team London Saints.
Yeah.
Who have been playing regional league last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doing pretty all right, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go into the history of them. Basically, they're just other.
They're another London
players.
team.
They're another London club.
Yeah.
If you can not work that out from them being, London Saints.
So big shout out to Burton Panthers. Big shout out to Burton Panthers for being the top of the league. One thing about Saints logo is they've got 3 stars in their logo, and one of them's gold. Is that a dig at the fact that there are 3 London teams? And
I don't know. They did win regional league.
Did they?
That'd be funny. That'd be
because they beat. No, they didn't win regional league. They came 3rd. I can't
That's a
remember.
long
It
way
was
from
the same
first.
one that It was the same one that Warwick Eliminator was in, and I can't remember who actually won that league.
My
We
prediction.
came 2nd.
My prediction is I just like the song "Stars in Your Eyes."
Are you just going to come up with
Yes,
theme tunes for every single club?
100%.
Blast them over
This is
loud
what I
because
do
they
in my
walk
spare
in.
time.
Such a good
Literally, how many times have
what's
you been
the
in a
feature?
conversation with me and you'll say something? I'll just
Slight
sing a song with
obviously.
one B on a shirt. Just throwback.
Isn't that still the highlight video for bees on there?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably
So
a movie
bad.
video if I was to make a prediction.
Anyway, actually back to league. Yeah, I don't know. I was again Bovines. I wish they got promoted, but I know they had some.
I
issues
love
with...
Bovines so much.
Who doesn't love Bovines?
Just what a club.
Yeah,
Really the spirit of dodgeball, that club.
yeah. Glad that they've sorted things out with
throwing balls at
snipers.
each other.
Alcoholics wearing silly outfits throwing balls at each other. Fantastic. Mixed gender alcoholics as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They are. They
And
are.
host a really sick tournament once a year where we all get really,
absolutely
really drunk.
Yeah.
They're also Northerners, so how come
Fond
we not
memories
live
or
in
lack thereof.
What memories? I don't remember.
I remember you being there.
Wish I did.
So,
I remember napping under a table during the day.
Yep.
That's another table.
Zoe, you're playing.
I don't want to.
I remember having the let's.
I'm a
like-
serious dodgeball.
Zoe that day was like that TikTok of them when they're grabbing the goalkeeper's been hitting the head every time he's putting him out to.
Oh my god.
It's like Zoe just stand on court. I don't want it. Anyway,
Back to league.
Men's League 3.
So yeah, I think Mavericks, they had a good season last year. They had obviously that one they couldn't turn up to due to COVID. Real rough time there. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see who gets promoted. I think Crocs, Bovines, and Mavericks are my shout. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
Nighthawks
Yeah.
2, Nighthawks 2 could be up
Saints
there.
team's looking
Yeah.
like as well because they've got.
They're just another London team. Who would care?
I just know I tried to talk footies, Saints.
We have more podcasts to do. Not enough time today, though.
All right, okay. Says the one that's going off track. We just try to talk about another team.
I think Crocs will probably, if not win the league, at least come top 3. I think they've gotten a lot stronger every time they've appeared, and they've got a really nice new kit as well.
Have they?
Yeah.
Jelly.
Which helps.
We
It's
all
important
know.
in playing dodgeball
We
well
all
to have a
know
sick
that
kit.
dodgeball is 10% style.
No, I just really like Crocs. They always played really well. So when I did London Regional this time last year, then Crocs and Saints were both there, and Crocs, I think, I don't know off the top of my head, but I get the feeling they came lower ranked than the Saints because I'm now convinced Saints came 3rd. I could be completely wrong on this. But either way, Crocs, they sort of got better as the league went on. Saints kind of middled and stayed about the same. And Crocs, every time I've seen them, they just seem better and better. And they've grown so much so quickly. I'm amazed that they're managing to field a women's team so soon. That's a really good sign of growth within a club, that you're managing to field a women's team before you field your second men's team. So that's something that's interesting to me. I think it'll be good.
Other teams take note.
Yeah. Well done, Canterbury Crocodiles, feminist winners of Men's League 3.
Leeds had to bring back a women's team just to stop that from being the case.
Well, so okay, prediction for promotion.
I think bovines and crocodiles.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, the more I think back to last season, I think Nighthawks 2 were pretty good though. So
They were. That's
yeah.
I keep rereading the table and be like,
Nighthawks.
ooh, actually,
Yeah.
Nighthawks.
Nighthawks 2 and bovines, I think, are my guess.
Who was your other one? Bovines and
Nighthawks 2.
Nighthawks 2.
Yeah.
Wasn't even in his top 3 a second ago.
Yeah, I know. But
Out of nowhere.
It's
Yeah.
just
So
Spanner in the works.
match to catch. Saints versus bovines.
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it should be a good game.
It'll be a great game. Battle of the White Kits, really.
Is bovines all right?
Content.
Mate, wait till we get to one of the other leagues. Got more to say about that.
Predicting who's going to win the league based on their kit alone.
Well, it's Men's League 2 that's just like a third purple. They've got
Is
that.
it?
Right, whoa, let's
Sorry,
bring
yeah,
this-
we're getting
let's
ahead of
bring
ourselves.
this back.
Yeah, so yeah, we're going to start with Zoe this time.
Sorry, who was it
Saints,
against Saints
bovines.
against bovines?
This is why I brought it back.
Yeah, no, I think a good match, but I think it'll probably be bovines that take it. Just they've got a little bit more experience in National League. They know St George's, and I do think that makes an impact if you consider the regional league venue is wall to wall. St George's is not, so I think they'll be able to play with that better, and they'll probably take it because of that.
Yeah, I think bovines are taking it as well. I think they're going to be a strong outfit this year. And I know that there's another Sheffield club starting, and I don't know if they were
No.
training together and stuff. No,
I don't know.
Snipers. Yeah, Snipers started up, and then from what I understand, bovines basically cracked a deal with them that because of the BD thing on having to have a training session, Sheffield bovines didn't have one, but Snipers did. So
So they merged.
they're merging,
That makes sense.
kind of, or at least.
So what I was going to bring up, the fact that they're like training together more often is
Yeah, it's Hallam and
No.
Uni of making friends together. That's what it is.
So I'm just going to leave that one. Bovines win.
I refuse to explain my reasons, but they
No
win.
more beer.
We do not advocate drinking on the podcast to drink more.
Yeah, like an idiot, I left the beer over there out of frame.
You look.
God damn it.
So yeah, obviously I'm going bovines. Can't not support the North. Like you have to. It's just a rule. Feathers, however, thinks otherwise. Thinks Saints are winning.
Really? It must really value the regional league
It's just
results.
it's who you play because they treat. So if you've got Storm 1 in regional,
you treat them as
they
Storm
treat them
1.
as Storm 1, right?
Even
So
though they're like mixed teams and stuff. Yeah.
I think it also
Yeah, that's
depends
fair.
it depends what Saints put out as a team.
Oh well, you can say that about every single matchup we've predicted.
Well, it could go the
Depends
other
on
way.
the
We'll
day.
see. Woo!
Like 6
But
people who've
he
never
does-
played
he does
dodgeball
say-
before and they might lose.
It's going to be a 51% win to
Ooh.
Saints, so a narrow win.
Yeah, but
with
what's
a
his draw percentage?
23%.
Right, okay, so not that narrow.
I mean, his prediction is 12 all.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's Men's League 3. Men's League 2.
Men's League 2.
God, this is a spicy league.
It's
It's basically like
Should I read out
the League of Seconds
Go on,
and Thirds
Zoe.
teams.
It's Carmarthen Wizards, Coventry Silverbacks 2, Derby Phantoms 2, Leicester Mustangs, Storm 3, Cyclones 2, Soldier Bees, which is 3s, right?
Yeah.
Ronda Dragons, Stafford Raptors, and Wessex Wolves 2.
So, newly promoted
Purple.
Leicester Mustangs and who are the other ones? Who else got promoted?
Who got promoted?
Was it only one?
No, surely not.
It might have been because Soldier Bees were meant to be demoted, weren't they? And they're
Yeah.
still
Yes,
up,
that's
so
true. They were
that's
meant to
I think
probably
it
what
might have
happened.
been just one. Yeah, it's because we'll get onto it, but the Leicester club
folded. Yeah,
folded.
that.
So yeah, and the demotee was Storm 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got all 3 clubs that wear purple kit in this league. You've got Carmarthen, MK, and who are the other ones?
Derby.
Derby. Yeah. It's a real great colour palette.
Fantastic commentary on the league.
I love the
Very
purple
purple.
shirts.
Who is going to be the
I
most
think someone in a
purplest?
purple shirt's going to win in the league.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
Uh,
1 in 3 chance of being right.
It's good odds, good odds. I don't really know what to say about this one. It's just, I think it's a fairly competitive league all round, isn't it, really? But it's just scrappy as well. Hopefully MK Cyclones 2 don't have... I think they only had 4 players at one point last season because of COVID.
I got 4 colours of kit in that league.
Do you know what? I was standing here watching Zoe count, and I was like, what the fuck is she coming up with? I was like, what's this big knowledge thing is going to come down? There's only 4 colours of kit in the
4
league.
colours of kit. Because you've got your purples, and then you've got, in black, you've got Silverback Storm, and then we're going to be in black kit once we get our new
So
kit in through.
beans.
Wow.
And then Dragons and Raptors are both in red, and Wessex Wolves are in white, bluey.
Yeah.
4 colours.
You
And
can
that's all I've got to say on
You
this.
can understand why in dodgeball one of the biggest followings on Instagram is someone just collects kit. We base our entire predictions of a season based on what kit availability there is. Yeah, so there's not much else. I'm really curious on that note what Mustang's kit's gonna be.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we
Because
don't
they've
know
got
what
a really
Mustangs.
nice deep royal blue as their colour. So I
Yeah,
don't know
I
what
counted
they're-
them with wolves there.
Yeah.
Do you think
Anyway.
they're going to rock up in a Mustang?
Do you reckon they've got any players called Sally?
Oh my god! People write into the podcast to say, "I really love your content. You've really,
You're really
good
critical,
analysis."
really good analysis.
Here we
No,
are,
I'm gonna
damn
write
that
that
royal blue. Really stands out.
Can't wait till we actually have footage to actually analyse instead of colour of kits.
Should we do?
It's
Who
a
do
lot
we
of-
think we're going to get?
It's a lot of
promoted?
2s and 3s, right?
Yeah.
So the impact there is if people start to get promoted up, then it causes a really rocky league. I think it's kind of the same thing
Yeah.
we've got in Women's League One, where if you start to get people getting really good, they then leave, and so you have a team that gets good and then drops as soon as their players get better and go.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting.
Do we know who is Leicester Mustangs? Just the ones that used to play for Leicester
I don't know.
previously.
I think,
I'm not
no,
sure.
because most
'Cause
of
a lot of
the
them went
ex-Leicester
Silverbacks.
ones have gone
Coventry.
Silverbacks.
That's what I was going to say.
So
was
Mustangs, I think, is just Predators
Yeah.
renamed, right?
I forgot about them.
So that's how Silverbacks
Why
are
don't
one
they
to
have-
3 squads.
How they've now got 3 bloody teams.
Yeah.
Is impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
So I think Silverbacks will be really good as a result of that, because they'll be able to. They've got so many players now, and they're already a decent squad.
some. Yeah, I've seen
What,
their.
Silverbacks too?
Yeah, Silverbacks too. I think
Yeah,
will be.
I've seen their squad for one of the opens. And
Yeah.
they're
I
quite-
think
quite a few
Ronda
strong
have
players.
got to be favourites here.
They should have probably got promoted last season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They just faltered against Spurs,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah.
And
Got
Norwich were
Stafford
miles
as well,
ahead.
right?
Norwich were miles ahead. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see which teams turn up and be stronger in their outfit than last year. But yeah, again, you sort of got a back who was good last year in terms of Ronda and Stafford being up there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I probably agree.
Match to catch.
We need to get a jingle for it. I'll work on that.
I was gonna say, you're definitely
It's
the one
going to be
singing
like
it.
a literal jingle of a bell or something now, isn't it?
God damn it, he's on to me.
God, that's seen right through his plan. Yeah, I think everyone's looking at this one as just, it's the Welsh derby.
Wales, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
Like, the fact that we can have, a thing like that. Where it's
Yeah.
just yep, the 2 Welsh teams are going at it.
I do
Don't
wish.
we have to put up with it all the time?
Hilarious.
So good.
He's here all season, guys. He's here all season.
please don't get me kicked out.
Yeah, I do wish that we could get Welsh League back. I know that they were trying to start it right before the pandemic, and then it just never happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
got
was
really unlucky.
Ronda, 2 Carmarthen teams. And
Yeah,
Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth. But yeah, they've just never. It's not really grown enough in.
I'll just keep pushing my brother to set up a Cardiff
what's the
team.
other one that's in Wales?
Banger.
Banger. Who they've got a couple of players now coming to Bees. So yeah, it'll be
Shout out to
interesting.
our
They've
lad
got-
Hayden, who keeps commenting. Love the comments. Keep liking and subscribing. If you didn't know, we have a YouTube channel as well. Why are you watching this from?
Wonder where that was going to come out. Like, see me recreate one of the most famous moments in movie history. Which one? You can figure that out yourselves.
So, Welsh Derby. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, all I was saying is because we don't have Welsh League at all anymore, then it's kind of nice to at least get to see like the level that the Welsh teams are playing at when they go against each other and get kind of an idea of like if it ever happened, what would that Welsh League look like?
Yeah. One day.
Two of the best matches in the league last year as well. It's always a really good watch. It's really intense. And yeah, no, I'm looking for.
Who do you want to win? Not who do you want to win. Who do you think we're going to win?
The Wizards.
Yeah, those are two different
The
questions.
wonderful Wizards of Commanders.
I think Ronda are going to win. They've been on good form.
Yeah,
I've only really seen them in foam recently though, but they're just such a good set of players always.
They are. Their quick starts are insane.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And they can catch like crazy.
Yeah.
Especially the people who end up staying in later. Just seems like everyone's like, all right, we're like 5-2 up, it's fine. 2 catches later.
Yeah.
Catches
win matches.
That's why there are match to catch.
Jesus Christ.
It's the first episode.
Go get an air horn to blast in your face every time you make a horrible move.
Did you not notice then? Match to catch. Please watch that on YouTube. Or at least somebody's going to rip into him through a clip of some sort.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just
letting that disappear.
1 minute 30 seconds of just Nick going match to catch on shorts. Yeah, so I back Ronda as well, and Bevers has a slight Ronda win by 1 set.
Ha.
You're on your own there, buddy.
Science doesn't back you.
Well, the previous result does.
Wait, did Kamala win the last one?
Yeah.
But they lost the first one.
I think they did lose the first one, but it was a tight one.
It is a good game.
It's such a good game.
Yeah.
That's why it's the obvious one.
That had to be.
You have to say that one.
Are they in the afternoon session as well? Evening session as well?
Yeah,
because we're on the same time.
God damn it, we're playing.
7:15.
Is that whenever our match is?
It's 7:15.
No, we're at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you guys are 8 o'clock.
So
It'd be warm up though.
Depends when we're reffing as well.
So I can watch that.
Right, we'll work this out later.
Yeah.
But
that's League 2. I can count. League 2.
Nice.
On to Men's League 1.
the
one that we actually have stakes in.
Well,
we also
I don't.
have,
Do you not have a stake in Women's Super League? No. No interest.
So, I think I'm a little biased, but I'm going to say
anything about Queens in our Super League bit. I just completely glossed
I
over
tried
it.
to. It's just moved on. I was
Yeah.
like, right, cool, whatever.
we could go. I mean, we might have time to go back to it also.
I don't think we will.
Talk about future episodes.
Text me to get my opinion on how Queens are going to do this season.
Zoe
What
will
a
do
real
a
interview.
Zoe will
good.
do a
It's
meme
positive.
update. A meme update on her opinion on Queens.
I only have good things to say though.
No, we
I
don't
like
let
Queens.
we don't let her be positive in this
Yeah.
podcast. Right, League 1.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so Bedford Mighty Eagles, Rangers 2, Spartans 2, Leeds Owls, MK Cyclones. Workbeats, I've stolen Zoe's job. Norwich Nighthawks, newly promoted, Sheriffs 2, Thunder Dodge, saved from relegation because of
3
Leicester.
years in a row relegated. Let's go, boys. We're sending you down again. One day it'll actually happen. Who are you bribing a BD to keep staying up, honestly? Like, Frank's got contacts. Jesus. Oh no. I just stay down. Have a year where you can just have a chill.
I don't think they've
year
ever
off.
got demoted. They've
That's what I'm
always
saying.
been
The past
League
2
One.
years they've survived.
No, but since the inception of British dodgeball, I don't think they've ever been demoted.
What, so they started in League 1?
I think they started in League 1 as
but-
Underdodge, not Thunder Dodge.
Brilliant.
Oh my god, yes. I forgot about that. That's a throwback.
Yeah, on that note, if anyone has any of the fixture results for 2017 and 2018, can you send them through?
It's honestly so upsetting how none of that's like
I know, we don't have any
archived properly.
of,
We're
any
so
of the
bad
data.
at history.
But yeah, Timeline Project couldn't save us on that one. Oh well.
That's sad.
Yeah, so coming up from League 2 was Norwich. Well done to them. And
Coming down
Spartans 2. Spartans 2 came up as well.
Yeah.
And coming down was MK.
Yeah.
And
who was the other one?
Oh yeah, who was the one? Oh, your Virtue's
Is
there.
it not Virtue?
No.
Virtue
They were not in the
is.
Super League.
Oh yeah, true. Sorry, I forgot what the league above this was.
Yeah, no. So because Leicester folded,
Yeah, that was.
Oh, so we only have-
Storm 2 would have got
That
demoted.
keeps catching me
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
So really, you're angry at Leicester
I'm not angry at Leicester. Why am I?
because you wanted the second teams to get dropped.
Well, yeah. If only MK could have done a little bit better last season.
I'm sure they would agree with you.
Yeah. With all the players that are still playing for them this season, that would.
Who's left?
Yeah, I mean, they've still got a second
They've
team
got new
apparently.
players.
Yeah, where
Oh
from?
my god, they actually do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Didn't have to field like 5 players for most of the season for the second as well.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
all basically juniors.
Yeah.
Impressive. There, listen. I hope they got actually recruited a few people and can field out.
It'll be interesting to
full
see what the
teams.
culture changes with MK having lost so many senior
know who
members.
Do we know who the head coach is this year?
No, they haven't announced it, I don't think.
Yo, Elliot, let us know.
No, I completely agree.
But yeah, it's
because
always
who's leading it would have a massive impact on what the culture is going to be like, right?
Yeah,
think
and also
you're right,
like
Jose.
it's that kind of situation where sometimes when the old guard leave, then there might have been people in the younger sort of generation who wanted the club to run differently.
Yeah.
It's always the case. Every club's got it. There's always people who want things to change up, and so actually having so many people leave in one go could mean that they change things. And if they manage to change it for the better, then that'll be a real middle finger to all the guys who left. So
What a better way to piss off Elliot.
and Ross.
Yeah, so even though Elliot left, I'm pretty sure he's still playing in League 1, right?
Yeah, he'll be playing Spartans 2,
So C1 caught the loser.
and Ross left for
What,
Rangers.
Rangers.
I assume he'll be in Rangers 1.
Yeah, I assume so.
You think?
That's a bold
I
statement.
generally,
Scottish player playing for Rangers 1?
I don't think he.
He's not being sarcastic.
I am.
I think he's a good player, but I think he brings. I don't think he adds a lot to Bedford.
Who do you take out?
Yeah.
We'll get to
Well,
that
I'm not
when we
taking
get
to
anybody.
that.
That's my point.
we'll get to
He had something like the highest percentage of catches in the Scottish team at Euros. He's one of those like quietly
don't-
very good players.
No, I
don't
agree
think
with
it's
that.
quiet. I think
No, he's not
just-
quiet about it. But like I don't know, like he's a middle player a lot of the time, so I feel like that's something that doesn't get a lot of attention, and so like we
I
tend,
agree.
we tend to think of the
I do
wingers as the
agree,
big star
but
players.
I do think that. Well, in my head, he was in the seconds.
He also
whenever
listens
joined.
to this.
Yeah.
I mean, he got his
Hi,
own
Ross.
little
Don't worry, I'll say it to his face too.
he got his own little shout out in the stories. So who do we think? I'm going to start harsh here. Who do we think's getting demoted other than Thunder Dodge?
We haven't talked
We
about.
haven't done
we
demotions
haven't-
with any
I
of
was
the
gonna
leagues.
say, I know he's the one league he thinks he knows
We're being
about. He's
positive,
like,
and you're like, who's getting fucked?
The reason being, right,
Is
is
it
that
Thunder Dodge?
yeah, Thunder Dodge, but
Virtue?
yeah, well, the reason I say it is because for this league, I think it's fair to say it's just insanely competitive all the way around. All the teams, I'd say, are pretty much at a similar level. I don't think anyone stands out being miles ahead.
Not miles ahead.
I think there are ones that would probably be less strong, and I guess that's why
I
I'm
don't think he
trying to
knows what
like.
competitive means.
There are some that are less strong, but that doesn't mean there are some that are better. Just
No,
some
but
that
the
are lower.
league in general will be pretty competitive. Because I think last year you saw Virtue picked off matches against teams that I think others didn't expect. They got some good results against some good teams. They were really close to turning over a few other.
I mean, there's a
teams.
reason they weren't demoted, right?
Yeah. Then the flip
Beyond.
side of that is they've lost like all their players.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know, Tom Bell, who honestly basically led that team, insane catcher, really good no-look thrower as well, which is just insanely annoying.
That's such a specific skill. As
I
well.
know. If you ever go into a Virtue training session, you'll understand why it's a skill that they
Yeah.
have.
It's a very niche reference.
Yes,
When
if
I
I
just
ever
play
go to
virtually.
Virtue.
Well, yeah.
So we're like, which one of those is more likely for me to do?
Definitely either watch or play the league,
Watch a
surely.
match.
So yeah, unfortunately, I think Virtue and Thunderdodge are probably not getting off the bottom of the table, even at the beginning of the season.
I thought you were saying not going to get relegated, and I was like, how's that unfortunate? Yeah, it also depends who. I don't know who's going to be in the Thunderdodge squad. I don't know
quite a few people left.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know whether it's true or not. So if they don't replace the stronger players that have left, then I don't see how they'll keep up, as they were already unfortunately struggling previously. So yeah, that's my prediction. God,
Yeah.
you were really savage making us do this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much sheriffs have changed at all, if at all.
Well, I know Sheriff's one have lost a couple of players.
Right.
So, like we said previously, that could have the impact on the seconds team. So we just have to wait and see on that front. But they're usually Sheriffs are a good squad, as in they play quite well.
Sheriffs too are
together.
incredibly well organised.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're a decent enough unit, which means that they'll cause teams trouble. They just had they couldn't keep a lead for a lot of their matches, was what they struggled with last season.
They're not particularly flashy, but they can just do the basics really well, which means that if you're a team that's sort of chaotic and all over the place, like Virtue, they did have those players that could pull those crazy sets out and just win it. Yeah. And then for everyone else, it was a case of your average ability, your basic skill level needs to be above Sheriff's, and then also you need to be having those flashy plays that just turn a set on its head to pull that win out. And I think that's what the difference was against where Sheriff's ended up being comfortably sixth. Because I think they were 10 points below us, and we were fifth at Leeds.
Did they finish that high?
Yeah, they finished sixth.
Really? Because we beat them to stay up. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
10, 9, 8.
They were sixth, and we were 10 points ahead of them. I think they finished on 11 points, and we finished on 21.
Fair.
What do you guys think for top of the league?
Ooh.
So Bedford Mighty Eagles are going to do their thing, and they're going to win, and then at the end they're going to not match fix and and hold off from winning to not get promoted.
Fucking hell. Jesus.
No, I don't know. I just feel like you got to back Eagles. I think they're a good team. They're going to be tough to beat this year, I think.
I think Spartans too are definitely up there. Norse Nighthawks are bringing in Henry Skinner, which makes them a very strong
Are
team.
they? Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, but that's quite a move for them.
Yeah, it is. That's
bad.
And that's a strong change for him as well to leave.
League One is a good league for him to drop down to.
Yeah.
It makes him a much bigger threat to teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he's going to settle in really well. Let's be fair. And a good replacement, because I think Dom's going Derby now, isn't he?
is that happened?
He said the message earlier on that he's not playing with us, so.
To be
He's
honest,
not playing
I was
us.
on a train going.
Nick's a loser, doesn't really catching out messages. Say me and Zoe are the
It's us.
He just does graphics once in a while. Nobody cares about
I
them.
do the stories.
Messages.
We respond to the messages, and he does the.
Oh yeah, just chat shit to random people that reply.
He flirts with random people. And not
Dom,
the ones
call
you
me.
think. We're so fucking single. Oh yeah, that was the other thing we were going to point out.
Yeah. This is the single podcast.
And if you haven't heard the news on Neutral Zone, go listen to it, because
Yeah,
that is
congrats.
definitely the couples podcast.
Congrats for making me feel so very alone in the last 5 minutes of that fucking podcast. Jesus.
Just in the club, where's my life gone?
It's like,
Right.
This is a dodgeball podcast.
Back to dodgeball. Right. You've got to leave your train soon.
Yeah, you do.
God damn it.
I agree though. Spartans too. I think that they should come quite high up there. They've got Elliot, like we've mentioned before.
Yeah.
Josh, I think Keys is also moving there. From Wessex, I think.
that's
I could be wrong on that, but I think that's happened finally.
league.
And already they were a very good team. So Yeah, that's
So my prediction for Leeds now is dropped out of the top 5.
back yourself.
Yeah, we're going to be fighting for 8th and 7th, mate. Don't you worry.
Ooh, he's getting big.
Stop flirting with him.
Can we just end there? Because that was the perfect.
We don't need 2 men super.
Anyway,
Match to catch?
yeah, so
match
work.
to catch.
So no.
Oh, yeah,
worker
workers.
bees first.
Sorry.
Let's talk about.
Oh,
our
you
teams
guys
that
get to
actually
talk about your
have.
teams, but I don't.
I tried. You moved on.
Hey, I was an advocate for my women's team, okay?
Workers.
Workers are looking very strong this year. We've had new signings come into bees in Jonty and Brennan, which has increased the depth towards the top range of people, which we've been really lucky to. And we've also brought in Stan, who used to play at Muds back in the day. He's come back to dodgeball. So 3
We love
new
you, Stan.
signings, really.
Get that soon, Stan.
He came back Tuesday,
Okay.
played really well. So yeah, the worker bees team. If we can keep the good core of the squad, we'd be looking really strong next season. Considering we've had to bring in into the actual squad a few new players to embed them into the squad, we've played really really well together as a team. If we can take that into league, I think we'll give a lot of teams a run for their money. No, I'm looking forward to it. What about Leeds?
He's done.
Yeah. What is there to say about Leeds?
No,
We've had some changes. We've had some changes in the squad. Hakeem won't be playing with us this year, unfortunately. But yeah, I think we'll have to see how the squad gels and goes through. But we've got a second team as well, and we're hoping they'll do well. So I don't know. I think it's just see how the season goes. No, I genuinely don't have much to say on Leeds.
He's not as ballsy as he was offline. You know?
I didn't say anything about the men's team. I was just about the seconds and the women's.
Waffling.
Definitely afraid.
That's the one that we put down as match to catch, right?
Match to catch.
Oh
is-
yeah,
Because we're really like.
Yeah.
To be fair, I
Of course you said that one.
I
Yeah.
still
We
back it.
nearly said Nighthawks against Beagles, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one.
That was
the other one.
potentially the other one. So we ended up going for our game because
you're on it.
We bring it.
We use that as a thumbnail.
Yeah. we should do like a head to head and realise that I'm like a foot shorter than you. And then just do that of like just my hair at the top and then picture a com.
Yes, please.
So
So yeah, match to catch.
Who do you think's gonna win?
last game of the day.
Yeah.
So-
Literally,
Yeah, stick around for it. 'Cause it's
we're
definitely the
there.
best
We're
game.
there all day as well.
I'll
So
be,
there's
I'll
going
be
to be.
taking photos on the side.
Technically, it's going to be a bloody endurance game by the end of it.
Yeah, some of us are repping before as well.
Exactly, that's what I mean. You're going to be like
Yeah.
mentally fatigued before you
I
even
know.
start playing.
First league meet of the season is always just like your fitness is in the fucking trash.
I don't think there's any point asking who we think is going to win that because you'll say Leeds, he'll say Bees, and I'll be like Bees. And
Yeah, so there's.
I thought you were going to say neutral.
I'll be like, actually, Sheriffs are going to win. The refs.
I think the spectators are the winner. Who do we think's going to win this? Mate, Bevers, you back Leeds.
It's not Bevers that's
62%
backing them. It's the-
win.
It's
A 59
science.
win.
To be fair,
That's a big win.
in terms of like the stats and stuff. It makes
Yeah,
sense, 'cause,
yeah,
like
'cause
we
we
at
did
the
both
start
at
of
the
the
start.
season. Like,
Go watch
especially-
last season's match because that was fucking
The second-
hilarious.
the second one?
The second match. You'll see
Really,
me do
really
like
good.
how not to block a ball back to the other side of the court. Don't do that, kids. And you'll also see how bees completely collapse under pressure.
I wasn't there. That's why we lost.
Anyway, but yeah, so
Men's
Yeah.
Super?
Men's Super League.
So you can get your train?
So I get my train. It's got half an hour.
Early.
I know, I'm just stressed.
Oh god.
It'll be alright.
The train's in half an hour. You're not going to leave before then.
He'll
It's
just
around the
teleport.
corner. It's around the corner.
It's 10
Um,
minutes.
Go on then. You can do the
Thank
roll
you.
call.
You can get your job back.
I was going to say, I thought I was
Brexit
the
does
illegal
not mean
immigrant.
Brexit.
Coming from the Irish guy.
Right.
Right, welcome to.
Oh my god.
So, Super League: Bedford Rangers, Coventry Silverbacks, Derby Phantoms, Leamington Spartans, Storm 1 and 2, Glasworth Meteors, Killer Bees, Nottingham Sheriffs, and Wolves. Wessex Wolves.
Yeah.
Good league.
Apart from Storm 2.
Oi!
Why can't come
Coming in strong.
This is how we end up getting blocked.
I was going to say, all these different clubs are going to unfollow us now.
Some of us didn't before.
At least we don't like just pick on
Rangers
certain
looking at
clubs.
you.
We go for everybody.
You know who doesn't follow us.
They followed us
Only
today.
Oh, well, that means they follow us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Get your clubs to follow us if they don't already.
If you are an admin of one of those accounts, why don't you share one of our posts? Just saying, if we're mentioning you.
You sound so salty. Right.
Oh, we love our clubs in British Dodgeball.
Super League.
Yeah.
Who are those top contenders?
Nah, let's do promoted first.
Who's getting demoted?
Really? Yeah.
Who's getting demoted?
He actually wants to do it as well.
Yeah, Wessex and Storm 2.
Yeah. I said that very quick. I'm really sorry, Wessex. Less sorry for
Yeah.
too.
I'm interested to see what Sheriff's going to be like because they've lost Dan Evans and Dan Giddens, who were definitely some of their stronger players last season, especially Dan Evans. He carried them in a lot of games, in my opinion. So potentially, but if actually, I know one of them has. I have no idea where the other one went.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm tired. Yeah. So yeah, it probably still will be Wessex and Storm 2.
Especially
probably.
if I'm correct and Keys has joined Spartans. I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure
no.
on that, and it's going to be really embarrassing if I'm wrong because we are
Josh
friends.
is just going to
but
bring it back to Wessex just
Just
for
to
this,
spite me.
Yeah, literally.
Or he's
Yeah.
just going to turn up in his
I back
Wessex
him
kit.
for it.
Just turn up in his Wessex kit and we're like, fuck!
Wait, who am I playing for?
And he just plays in a bib because he hasn't bought the kit. Anyway.
Right.
Right, so moving on to the rest of the league. So we know, do we think it's going to be a fight for relegation, or do we think it's just going to be pretty clear cut?
I would say clear cut, but I do think comfortably then.
I think Derby are going to have a fight to get into the league.
yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah.
I just don't know how they're.
They've
I don't,
had some good
no,
performances.
I know,
in
but I
Opens,
don't know
though.
how. I don't know how their play style is going to compare against other Super League teams.
But then you could end up having a situation like Derby Women's where their play style is different to everyone else in the league and in a good way to their benefit. I would be surprised, but you could have that.
I don't think they're going to be competing for the top half, but
No.
I do think they'll be safe from relegation.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
So my prediction is that I think Silverbacks, Bees, and Storm are going to be in that fight for the middle.
Ooh.
What,
You
as
don't see
in-
Bees as being top.
You talking about 4th, 5th, and 6th?
No. Yeah. Well, probably 5th, 6th, 7th.
Who are you putting top 4 then? So I'm assuming, for me, the league's between Spartans and Meteors.
Yeah.
Is that
So
fair?
I'd say right. So Wessex Storm 2 at the bottom.
Yeah.
The Phantoms I'd say just above.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Then I'd say Silverbacks, Bees, and Storm are fighting it out there. With top 2 being Rangers,
You're putting Sheriffs in
And-
4th.
Meteors. Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, you make a valid point.
No,
May-
offense,
may-
no,
may-
no offense,
maybe-
Neutrals though.
They are a tiny bit biased.
Well, okay. I'd say then. What was it? 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I think is between those 4 teams. I think that.
So basically, what you've decided is the top 2, the bottom 2, and everybody else is the middle.
Everyone else is in a little goo in the middle.
Essentially.
Well, I think,
Sorry, top
That's
3.
how I
Top-
feel.
I think
Bedford
Spartans-
Rangers are probably up there in top
I
3.
think Rangers are going to be better than Spartans this year.
Ooh.
I think Rangers have had some good joinings.
Yeah,
and I think
that's
it's really gonna because they've done pretty damn well last year.
Yeah.
They're gonna learn from that. They're gonna get better, and they've got new players in as well that are pretty damn handy.
I definitely think they're going to be top 3, but I don't think they're beating Spartans.
Which would you think's the weakest team out of Spartans and Meteors? Spartans or Meteors?
Mm.
Because I think Meteors have got stronger.
I think
I was going to
Meteor's
say
getting...
Meteors are weaker.
I don't know, I think Donovan is a really good
Oh,
sign.
yeah. Fair enough.
I think he's a really good sign. I think Dan
Yeah.
Gittins has joined Storm, I believe.
Yeah, Storm, yeah. Or at least that's the kit I saw him in when he was at the
I'm pretty sure he has.
Yeah.
Not to bring the conversation back to kit.
Yeah.
How many colours do we...
You can't your hand
Yeah, through it. There's a good variety in Storm 1. It's a Pebble Dash.
Yeah, I do. I think Meteor is probably...
So then, therefore, my logic is Meteors and Rangers are fighting it out, and Spartans are a comfortable third. Maybe cause
How do you see Spartans getting weaker compared to
No,
last
I don't
season?
think I don't think they're getting weaker. It's just the other teams have got stronger.
It's
Well,
5 colours. Sorry, keep going. Once bees have changed our kit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm doing it based on what our kits will be throughout the season.
I don't know. I don't think Spartans would be, in terms of competitiveness, for dropping out that much. I know, like, bees beat them at British Champs and all that. But I still think they're a really strong outfit. And I still think
I'm not saying
I struggle to see how you can place Meteors and Rangers ahead of them comfortably. I know you're not saying comfortably, but
yeah, but in terms of
confidently.
yeah, in terms of where the points are going to end up, I think it means that Spartans are going to be third. In the same way Rangers last year weren't really going to finish above Meteors or Spartans, but they weren't going to finish below third.
I can see the three of them doing that kind of rock, paper, scissors thing that we've talked about in like the Euros context before. The thing that's interesting to me is which one of those teams... Yeah, catch our Euros episodes. But the thing that's interesting to me is which of those clubs is most likely to drop points to a mid-table team, rather than which one's most likely to win
But
out of that
who would
three-way.
overtake it? Yeah, I mean, but who would overtake them though? I don't see anyone.
Well, you can't disregard bees for it.
Exactly,
bees.
bees.
We drew with them and beat them at British. Beat them at British Champs,
Yeah,
drew
but
them in the league.
In all the time that I've watched bees, they never finished for fourth.
No, but what I'm saying is that bees are a team that can take points off anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
So
but
if
That's how
that's-
Spartans and Meteors
Yeah,
ended
no,
up
sure,
in
but-
a very tight situation
Yeah,
as
but
last year.
I mean, it's a league though. Like you need to do that consistently. I don't think bees can.
No, I'm not saying bees are big in the top three. I've already told you in the top three are. What
Yeah.
I'm saying, you're saying like who's going to drop points to mid-table teams. All of them could drop points to the likes of bees. Storm towards the end of last season were
Just
think
don't put
they'd
out
be-
the same fucking team each week. Not
I
Listen,
wouldn't bet on it.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, like any of them could drop to mid-table teams. Like Storm beat Meteors, right? I think.
Yeah,
I think so,
I
yeah.
think that was. I think that was.
Also,
what
I
happened.
don't know, because Alice has moved to Bedford, we're not going to get a nice fancy graphic for Storm this year.
Yeah, and also Storm aren't going to take part in Paris Open.
Storm, get your shit together.
Right.
Get a new
Back-
francophone.
Back to Super League friends.
Yes.
Yeah, I struggle to see how you're confident the Spartans are going to come third. I struggle to see it. I still think they'll probably win enough to take the league. Meteors second.
I guess I'm
Rangers
thinking.
third.
Yeah, I agree with
I'm
that.
thinking it more from like a power ranking situation. Like if I was going to like do a power ranking of where they were, regardless of how leagues points are going to fall. I think Rangers and Meteors are 1 and 2, and I think Spartans fall in third. That's the way that I see it. I don't know how the points are going to level out because league tables are weird like that. That it's going to be really crazy. Like I don't understand how League One last year ended up into a top 5 and a bottom 5.
Yeah.
Like, like it's just.
So funny.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah.
What's
Anyway,
the match to catch for this one?
match to catch is the Bees v Storm. Killer Bees v
To
Storm.
be fair, there's like 2 or 3 games we're going to choose between this one.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's basically Rangers have got Spartans and Meteors tomorrow.
basically
Yeah.
any of those 3. The reason why,
Yeah,
reason
Rangers
why
have
I went for B Storm is because it's always a really good close game. Like
Exactly.
it's all. I think it's one of the most entertaining to watch.
It's amazing to watch two teams not want to win a match. I bought a treat.
I cannot wait for Bobby to hear that. He is coming for you, man.
I
Kind of
bought- I
sad
bought
that
a treat.
headshots aren't allowed anymore.
I bore a tree for bees last year during their game against Storm, and it was the most hilarious thing of like the entire second
Oh, I
half.
was one of the Aiden couldn't.
It was
make
like-
that,
One game, like one set went to bees, and 2 sets went to Storm, and then 2 sets
Yeah.
went to bees, and then 1 set went to Storm, and then 1 set went to bees. And it was just like the whole time everywhere. And it's just like, guys, can one of you just get a fucking lead? Like, get a handle on the game.
Get a lead.
Little leads.
Hey! Yeah. So it's going to be a good game because it's going to be hilarious, the tension, because, yeah,
Nick's
it's always
gonna be
close.
shitting himself the entire time.
Why would I be?
No, that's just what you
You
do.
sound like the most invested.
Also, I'm not actually
So
going
do
to be
I.
watching it because I'm going to be repping on the other court.
Wow. Not even dedicated enough to watch, folks.
But dedicated enough to ref. So if you're interested in refing,
Is this a referral scheme? Bring your friend, get 20 quid.
if only, like, British Dodgeball, like a horse thing. Like, you ref one game, your mate gets 20 quid. Like, yes. That'd be awesome. Yeah, so.
It's not
bees,
really
bees,
worthwhile
Storm.
asking us who we think is
Who do you
going to
think's
win
gonna
that.
Bees.
Bees.
Are you just saying that because you're a big
Yes.
Like,
No.
do you genuinely think bees are going to win?
I think, well, this is the tricky thing, is that because we haven't seen Storm, like, we see Bees every single week, and so we can tell you exactly the caliber that they're playing at right now,
Same
and
price how they've gone for
it's a
anyway.
they're a really solid team, they're a really, really good team. Obviously, we don't see Storm every week, so it makes us very biased. It would be weird to not acknowledge that we have to be biased because we just see them all the time. It's not because they're our club and we can't say something against them, it's because we see them improving, we don't see everyone else improving, so it's always a shock when you show up at League and you're like, oh shit, everyone trains, everyone gets better.
Do we know if there's been any movement from Storm 1 apart from Dan joining?
Well, I imagine that means somebody's going to be dropping out of Storm 1, right?
Yeah.
I know that at
Not
the,
really a problem because they're going to Storm 2 in the same league, but...
the teams that they entered for the season opener, then it did seem to be that they were kind of using that as a sort of
Development
exercise,
thing.
not necessarily a development thing, but kind of an exercise to see how the teams played and how individuals played, and using it as a way of ranking
Okay.
players and deciding who should go in which squads, which seemed to stress out a lot of those players quite rightfully. But I don't think they were necessarily all those players were up for Storm 1 anyway, so
Yeah.
it was a lot of Storm
Savage,
2.
I love it.
You know what, I'm going to back bees.
Oh,
I'll back bees.
what does Bevis say?
What does Bevis- 'cause no one cares about our opinion, everyone wants the update of the Bevis.
What does the
thing.
science say?
Science says bees. can't lie. All of us, Bevers and the 3 of us have all voted.
Oh,
for
it'd be
bees.
so funny when
The
Storm
only
wins.
time, the only one we've all agreed on.
I've never
Nice.
been more nervous of you wrong.
We're gonna be so wrong.
The fact we've all agreed, because I'm pretty sure every time we always agreed on
Yeah,
something, it always
doesn't
then
work out.
falls off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
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 I really couldn't care less, to be honest. I don't have any stakes in the game.
God, he really enjoys dodgeball, doesn't he?
I just like watching it. I'm here for, I'm the neutral in this game.
Now that's the other
Predictions.
podcast.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be.
I have no
on
opinion on
dodgeball.
any team because they're all amazing.
Oh, fuck off.
Monkey on the car.
I'll be so happy the day that dodgeball's on Bet365.
Yes. I'll lose
Honestly,
so much
that is-
money. I'm going to lose so much money when that happens. But anyway,
That's
That
all the
is-
leagues. We did it.
we survived, and I've got
Yeah.
15 minutes to make my train.
Nice.
Sweet.
We timed this really well. And it's only
Yeah.
because I was here to stop these two waffling on about random shit.
It's true. If you go watch our Worlds episode,
Our 2-hour long episode of me and Nick.
2 hour, 20-minute episode of me and Zoe just chatting shit about Worlds and how
Oh.
toxic the Twitch chat was.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually that toxic. It was pretty good.
Or if you
Let's
wanna-
not get
or if
into
you
it
wanna
again.
hear about- Or if you want to hear about Nick talk about toilets, go to yours.
Yeah. Fantastic content.
Fantastic. Yeah. Is this one?
Why do people listen to us?
Why do people want more of my content? Like, Jesus. Wow.
Any...
The standard of dodgeball content is so low right now.
It's alright. Whenever we have actual matches to talk about, it get a lot better.
Yeah.
We promise.
Do we have
Just sort of
anything
kind
to
of-
plug or anything?
If you keep putting your YouTube footage of dodgeball matches up, we'll watch it.
That's
Guaranteed.
good.
I think Catherine mentioned it in Neutral Zone. The dodgeball TV thing. The
Yes.
Well Intended videos. If anybody listens to us and not them, they do that.
Dodgeball
be
highlights
great.
as well on Instagram. If you've got like a shorts clip or just something cool you've seen, send it over to them so they can share it out. They're doing pretty well on their reels at the moment, so let's get
We want
dodgeball
dodgeball content.
we want cloth dodgeball content.
Yeah, great that Bevers gave us those rankings. That was really useful. I do feel like I kind of owe it to him to mention he does have an article coming out with House of Dodge
Sweet.
soon, which is if you ran the league 5,000 times, who would come out top? It's really funny. I can't wait for it to be released.
Bevers article.
It's such a Bevers article. Well, maybe it's 4,000, I can't
the
remember.
Doctor Strange, like, you gotta find out what's the one
Let's
time
get running it.
when Burton are gonna win League 3.
Should we do a shot for every time Burton wins that?
Every time they win a set.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good seasonal.
See you on Saturday.
See you on Saturday, and we'll see how terrible our predictions were at the end of the season.
Oh god.
I think also on our predictions, our match to catch predictions, I'm gonna keep a tally, and by the end of the
Oh,
year,
well, if I'm gonna be right.
yeah,
Oh, God.
versus Bevers' system, I'm gonna find out
Nice.
who is better, humans or stats.
None of the above.
Humans not.
We all know fuck all about dodgeball. Yeah.
But can the
See you-
computer count the colours of the kits, you know?
Say that 3 times. Why do people... Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's enough from us.
Like and
See ya.
subscribe.
Yeah.